In this video, I'm going to help you with your bridge rotations. And a bridge rotation looks like this. Now you probably can't just go straight into it. You'll probably end up falling like that because you haven't built the strength and flexibility at first. But there are ways to help you advance to that point, and I'm going to show you my favorite ways to get there. First, I want to go over a few of the techniques, and then I'll go over the exercises, just so you can see exactly what's going on here. I want to point out that in my hand, I'm actually rotating it externally, that's outward like this, during the movement. As you can see, I'm just starting off like this, and then I end up externally rotating it. And then when I come back, my hand turns back. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is don't just try to keep your hand there like that. It's not going to be as smooth, and it's going to be harder. So turn your arm outward as much as possible. So that you'll be in that back bridge position. Another thing to point out is that you should bend at your elbows. Don't worry about keeping your arms straight, at least not at first. It's just a different way. So you don't have to do it like this. But rather, in the beginning, it's easier to bend your elbows because you don't have that flexibility yet. So we'll start make it a little bit easier and still build strength and still sort of get the movement down by bending at the elbow. So keep that in mind. It's not bad to bend at the elbow, and it's not bad to keep it locked out. It's a little harder to keep it locked out. It's just two different ways to approach the exercise, and it's basically two different exercises. One last thing to point out when it comes to technique is the hips. I'm lifting my hips up really high. I'm thrusting them up and I'm holding them there. So when I transfer like this, my lower back is as high as I can get it. I'm just shooting my hips up really high, and I feel a stretch in my lower back right here. The further your feet are out, the easier it is. The closer your feet are, the shorter your bridge is, the harder it's going to be, because the more flexibility you're going to need to have. Now I'm going to show you 3 exercises that will help you build the strength and flexibility to help you get here. While you're working on this, you should still keep trying, even though you're going to fall and fail. Keep trying, but supplement your training with these 3 exercises because they will help you dramatically. Back bridge push-ups. This is a great way to help you achieve flexibility and strength. So we're just going to sit like this, lay on our back, go into a back bridge, and then bend at the elbow. And as you can see, I played around the position a little bit by making my bridge longer, and then by making my bridge shorter, and then by pushing out and getting a deep stretch as much as I can before doing each rep. So you're playing in the back bridge position, but you're also building the strength and control by doing that push-up and bending at the elbows and pushing all the way back out. So practice those. Those are going to help you a lot. Exercise number 2. Now this is a stretch. We're going to be reaching to that back position. We're not going to try to do the transfer yet. We're just like this. And remember, we're externally rotating our arms out. We're raising our hips as high as possible. And then we're reaching over. So we're starting off kind of stretching on the side, and we're gradually transferring the stretch while we're raising our hips and straightening our hips. And we're going to keep practicing that stretch. And you might just be right here with it, but eventually you're going to be able to touch the mat, touch the floor. And then make sure you do both sides evenly. Whoa. And to really make this stretch efficient, when we get to this point right here, try pushing your shoulder all the way out straight. Push your arm out straight. So we're kind of getting that half push-up rep in with one arm. And that'll take this stretch to the next level. And the final exercise, and this one is most likely going to help you the most. But first, the most popular exercise for helping you get into the back bridge rotation is to use the wall. Is to start rotating on the wall, because you can start off really high and you don't need that much flexibility, and then you can eventually start reaching lower at the wall and lower until eventually you're rotating on the ground. And that's a really great method. In fact, I do that stretch every day. Almost every day I'll find time to do a few wall rotations and really help stretch my shoulders and back, and especially to get me warmed up. This is similar to the exercise that I'm about to show you, but the one I'm going to show you, what I started doing in the beginning, I feel like it's a little more efficient, at least once you start building a little more flexibility, because we'll really get used to having our palms flat on the ground. And what we're going to use is a high ledge. You can use a table, a coffee table, kitchen counter, which is pretty high. I've done them on the kitchen counter. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you on this chair just because it's what I have out here. And so we're going to do the rotation on a higher flat surface, higher than the floor. And instead of having our palms flat on it and sliding on the higher surface, if I can, I like to just grab the ledge right here just to make it more secure, because we're training and in the beginning things can already get a little sketchy. So instead of starting off with my hand on here and then rotating, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the ledge. So if it's at the end of a table, you can just put your hand right here and grab on. So we're already starting off with our arm fully externally rotated. And then we just kind of walk our hips straight, raise them, and then remember, bend at the elbow till you're right here. Stay right here, and then transfer. So this exercise, like the wall, lets us do the rotation, but it makes it easier because we're decreasing the range of motion. We don't have to reach as far, so we're not starting this low. So we're starting higher. And if this is still too low, make it higher. But you don't want to make it too easy. And it's a little easier to make it easy on yourself on the wall than a lower ledge. You can even use a couch. Grab the seat of the couch, hand already fully externally rotated, bend at the elbow. Don't use a sketchy chair like this, it might fall. And really lift your hips up high. and find a height where you can achieve it, and then get really comfortable with it. It should still be slightly uncomfortable. Even this is slightly uncomfortable for me, and I can do them on the floor. And you'll get used to that uncomfortableness, that uncomfortability. What is the word? And then eventually you'll be doing them on the floor. You just have to do these 3 exercises consistently. Do them 5 times a week, spend at least 10 minutes a night or morning, whenever you get the chance to do these exercises. One last thing to point out, if you are still struggling with the rotation on the higher ledge, then try walking your feet out. The closer that your feet are, the shorter your bridge, the more flexibility that you're going to need to have. Now, if you walk your feet out, it makes things a bit easier. That being said, don't only try it with your feet out. Once you get it with a longer bridge, work on shortening the bridge so that you can have it both ways. Remember, you want to play around in your stretch and get the most out of it. All right, keep lifting yourselves. Train hard.